Hi everybody, I'm Kevin Vaillancourt. I'm part of Dell EMC, our VMAX corporate system engineering team. Today I'm going to go over VMware and VMAX All Flash and how we're better together and where we kind of fit within your data center. So Dell EMC, VMAX All Flash, and VMware. Where we kind of go for our main goals, massive consolidation, right? We have users that are running over 50,000 VMs on one single array. We want that predictable performance of sub 1 millisecond response time across everything running, and also space efficiency, right? So all flash data is expensive. We want to make sure that you're getting everything that you're paying for. We have inline data compression and also using thin lens plus thin snaps to get you towards a 4:1 space efficiency. And lastly, one of the big things that all customers really require is your data availability, right? 6 nines uptime. Make sure that it's an always on. We have an active HA solution with a multi-controller. So how do we integrate with VMware? So like pretty much most storage vendors, we have the storage API integration. So for your Xcopy, Unmap, ATC, we also have our VMAX Log Insight Pack. So we integrate in, give you dashboards, alerts, queries to give you that smart intelligence that you require. Also the VMware Storage Integrator, so the plugin that lets you get your provision managed within vCenter and lets you see the actual VMAX elements within vCenter itself. VMware vVols, so that array services for your VM granularity. How many of you are actually running vVols today? 1, 2, all right. Yeah, it's still being adopted, so we have it in there. We're growing in support as it goes. Unisp for VMAX is our element manager for VMAX, and it gives you that ESXi and host storage view along with provisioning. The EMC Storage Analytics, or ESA, plugin extends the vRealize Ops Manager capabilities. For your data protection, we have Site Recovery Manager, the SRA adapter, and with the recent SRDF Metro stretch cluster, we provide the capability of the VMware Metro storage clusters capability with the SRA. And lastly, for your app admins, we offer AppSync for SnapVX. So those array level snapshots of their ones, of their VMs, for that data copy management. So your application owners can take their databases, make copies of them using the SnapVX technology to use very minimal amount of space for any changes and use those for test, dev, and other resources. So VMAX All Flash. We have several different types and flavors, right? We have the two major ones are the VMAX 250F and the 950F. We scale from the 250F, which is a 2 vBrick, can go up to 2 vBricks, a 4 controller, active solution. That we can see about 10,000 active VMs running at a time, all the way out to our VMAX 950F, which grows out to a 8 vBrick or 16 controller system that we see supporting 50,000 plus VMs running at a time. So all of that's great, 50,000 VMs, but how does that look for performance, right? So I've talked about all these space efficiencies of inline compression, your 4:1 that you might be able to get. So what does that mean? So with our data reduction shutoff on the 950, for example, we see the response time stay under that 1 millisecond response time, actually under 0.75. And when we go ahead and turn on our inline compression, because we're doing hardware assisted and it's inline, we actually stay under that 1 millisecond response time. Whereas we've seen a lot of other vendors do things post-process or in software instead. So we try and keep everything, where we keep the performance, with an all-flash system, along with all those space efficiencies that you want. So with all of these great features we added in is also how do we protect it, right? How do you keep your DR going? And that's with SRDF. It's kind of that gold standard for remote replication. With the VMAX, we have over 70% attach rate with that, and we have customers specifically buying VMAX to have that remote protection. With the VMAX All Flash, we also have that Metro capability that I talked about, where we can now have an active-active, between two arrays. So you can have two arrays going to one cluster, and it being presented as one actual storage group. And your VMs can then be migrated between clusters, right? Where when you do that vMotion, you're not going to have to worry about the storage being moved. It's already there on the remote side, and it's just like a normal storage or a normal vMotion between hosts. Now, the SRA will also work with Metro, but also towards your asynchronous, copies offsite. So if you have something, greater than 60 miles, that would be at synchronous, and you're going towards, close towards thousands of miles, we can have that where we can have multiple sites all tied in together with the SRM and SRA adapter. And lastly, to kind of wrap things all up, one of our big customers that we had come in and when we announced, VMAX All Flash, they went through and tested. They saw, that they were going through tech refresh, and they were happy with their response time they're seeing for their enterprise application. It was about 4, 5, 6 milliseconds they were seeing. And during the tech refresh, we went over, they went over to a VMAX 250FX, and after their migration, they saw everything drop from the 4 or 5 milliseconds down to 0.4 milliseconds response time, right? They get to keep their 6 nines availability and uptime, right? And one of their general ledger programs they have running, they were going through and it would take them 30 minutes to actually run their batch job against it. After they migrated over to VMAX All Flash, it went from that 30 minutes down to 3. Right, so that's the big performance improvement they saw just by doing that migration of your hybrid type array where you have spinning disks and all flash, just strictly to all flash with compression, everything else enabled for them. And one of the big things their IT operations manager, Rich Sheridan, said was, for him, his actual sysadmins, they're going through and it was taking them a long time to actually revision out new VMs, just because the storage was taking a long time and everything else. Now they've moved over to VMAX All Flash. It takes now less than 90 seconds for them to spin up a new VM. So they're seeing great improvement, operationally wise, plus also space. That's it, guys. Thank you all for your time.